Welcome to Be Design House, a creative co-living villa where Indonesian art meets Scandinavian and Moroccan flair. Now, let me give you a tour. What makes this villa so unique is the fact that it used to be the home of a couple who lived here with their kids, and around 1 year ago, they decided to turn it into this co-living sanctuary where you can come and spend some time here in Bali, in Canggu. Now, let me show you the heart of the home. So over here, we have the large communal living area. There's a really large living room and a large dining area as well as a kitchen. And the lower area really is my absolute favorite part of the entire design because we just have so many layers to this design. And now there are certain people who think that this Scandinavian, bohemian design language is boring. This design really shows that it's just the opposite. If you don't know me, my name is Jane and I'm an interior designer, and on Interior Insights we show you the most unique and most beautiful homes in the entire world. So subscribe to this channel right now if you haven't yet, because otherwise you will miss out big time. Now, the entire design and color palette has actually been derived from these two paintings that are hanging above the sofa area. And this is something that I really love if you just find a perfect piece and then just derive the entire design language and from this one central piece of your design. And so you can also see that also this beige brass plastered wall color also is derived directly from the artwork itself, and then everything just basically developed from that. You know what I think is crazy? We're so super close to hitting 50,000 subscribers, and you can help us achieve that. So please double check if you've subscribed to the channel, and if not, it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe so that we can continue to grow this amazing community and give you the best interior design tours out there. Thank you so much. And of course, as a thank you, once we hit the 50K, I will be recording a bonus episode where I will answer all of your questions. You can comment all of your questions, interior or anything else, below. We have a lot of different layers of beige, and to cite the Balinese architecture and heritage, we have a lot of rattan being used, and even one of the lamps actually cites these traditional alang-alang roofs that we have in Bali, and it is really cool. The furniture is a lot of custom furniture pieces created by Anada, a local Balinese brand, and they've done a fantastic job. And here we can just really see a fusion of the Indonesian traditional heritage of these more Moroccan Oriental inspired design elements, as well as combined with this really modern, high standard living. And I feel like you can really still feel the family's presence that used to live here up until recently, because I think that this is actually why the space feels so layered, and you just really have this attention and love to detail in every aspect of the design. Of course, because we're living in Bali, we have a gorgeous pool and an outdoor area. So over here we have a large pool that is overlooking the banana plants and rice fields on Bali, and you just have this vast, wild array of nature that is just coming your way. And when you're not swimming in the pool, we have 2 4 sunbeds where you can lie down. And I told you in a recent video that one of the design trends in 2026 that we have more of these borders and defined ends within the design, and this is exactly what we have here. And there even is an outdoor seating area if you want to have a small work session here, or if you want to have your dinner here, and we just have this very cozy, niche-like design. And I absolutely love that the roof has also been created from this traditional Balinese technique that is called alang-alang. Basically consists of hay, and it is just a very traditional type of construction. It's time for the color palette analysis of the Be Design House. So at the first glance, this room feels deeply sun-soaked and very balanced, and that comes almost entirely from the wall color. So the entire color palette of the space is anchored by this rich ochre yellow. It has enough earthiness to feel natural, but at the same time, it still has enough saturation to completely warm the entire space. The largest contrast in the room comes from the sofa that is in a deeply muted blue. And because blue sits opposite yellow on the color wheel, the room immediately gets this balanced, warm, cool tension attention. But since both of these tones, so both the blue and the yellow, are both desaturated and kind of highly textural, the contrast feels relaxed rather than dramatic. Now this is what you would call a complementary color palette. Another very important layer in the color palette of the space is black. So the steel framed windows, dark pottery, the background of the artworks, and all of the black sculptural accessories all really give the room a visual weight. You can think of the black in this room like the outlines of the paintings. It kind of gives everything a frame and makes it pop. Now color really is one of the areas in interior design where people struggle the most, and so I've created a completely free guide with the 5 mistakes that 90% of people make when it comes to using and choosing color for your home. And in the guide, of course, I also show you how to fix them. It's completely free, so be fast and go get it right now. You can get it by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code. What I think the family did really well, and is actually really uncommon, that instead of creating different zoned areas through carpets or like through the floor, they actually created it through the ceiling. And this is something I've actually never seen before. So above the dining and kitchen area, we have all of these wooden beams, the structural integral part of the home exposed. And this just really visually separates the kitchen and dining area from the living area. And it is really cool. Comment if you like it or not. And now the kitchen is another highlight of this design. So we have a very warm Scandinavian kitchen with a large kitchen island in the center, and we have wood and white marble as the two main components. And as a little wow moment, the backsplash of the kitchen has actually been completely covered in this large slab of rainforest brown marble. And it is one of my all-time favorite marble types because it just has this really strong veining. Just because of its veining, it just seems really alive and incredible, and it just is such a cool focal point. I absolutely love with it. Now, let me take you to the bedrooms that actually formerly used to be the bedrooms of the kids, and the names of the different bedrooms have actually been kept, just as a small anecdote. Now, up the stairs in the first floor, there's 3 different bedrooms, and they're connected by this large, long hallway where you have light coming in from both sides. And let's go and take a look at the first room. And what I think is a very beautiful solution as soon as you enter is that this entire wall has been covered in a glass facade, which just adds this industrial touch to the design, but at the same time, of course, it just creates this massive source of light that comes in. And this is just what really floods the room with light. And you can see that as soon as you enter, you are just transported into another world, because we have so many different things going on in this room. And we have these beautiful layers of textures and of tactile materials. Now, this room really is a standout example of creating monochrome design, because the entire room is just covered in different shades of beiges and browns. But the room doesn't feel empty, but instead it is just really layered. The room has this very strong tactile and textural quality, and the reason for it is because this entire side of the wall has been covered with this very unique and tactile wallpaper, and it was actually sourced right after they found this incredible headboard. The headboard is made from a rattan technique, which is very traditional for Bali. We've seen it all around this home, and it just really cites the local heritage of this island, and I love it whenever people actually incorporate the genius loci, so basically like the surroundings and local architecture and interior design styles of the place that we are. So this is really cool. You can really see that both of these textures and patterns aren't competing, because they have a completely different scale, and this is just what makes them harmonize really well together. The bed is situated in the center of the room, and it is also placed on a rattan carpet. And you can see that we just have these same materials repeated again and again, or even just the artwork on the other side. It cites the tactile materiality of the rattan. Over here, we have a very large window where you can overlook the Balinese Canggu rice fields, and you just have a gorgeous view. Also, there's some frangipani. It just really creates this really strong focal point and pop of color. in this beige design. And along the entire length of the window, we have this really slim and small marble table, and I love it because it acts both as a sideboard as well as a table, and you could just drink your cup of coffee in the morning or get some work done, and you just have this really small, creative working area that doesn't take up too much space. And my favorite detail by far is this gorgeous artwork. It is created by a local artist called Athena, and I think it works so well in this room because it just ingests this pop of color and this depth within the monochrome design. And well, why I love this artwork so much is because she basically painted it and then like stitched it on top. We also have a similar one in the common working area, and it is super cool. Now, because this is an ensuite, of course there also is a bedroom and a walk-in closet. So let me show you. So here we have the ensuite bathroom, and it is just one gorgeous, light, bright, and airy bathroom. The vanity is created from this large slab of marble with this really strong veining, and it really reminds me of an iced coffee. It's super cool. I always love it when people decide to go for a more unusual marble. Comment if you know the name of this. And then all of these surfaces aren't just painted plain white, but we have a lot of irregularities on them through the plaster technique that has been used. And so even just a blank ivory white wall has this very tactile, textural depth to it, and it just creates a beautiful design. And when you're done taking your shower, you walk into the walk-in wardrobe. And here we have a small nook where you can place all of your things, and the inbuilt open cupboard just has this very seamless look, and it integrates itself into the entire design. Now let's go and take a look at the other two bedrooms. Now, of course, because we are in Bali, we also have a lot of outdoor areas that don't have a roof above them. And so here in the courtyard, we have a small, beautiful terrace area. And this is one of the things why I love Bali, is because you're just always in contact with nature, and you're not like in your enclosed home, but rather here you just really have this like open living style where you're always in touch with nature. And I really like that. Now, some of you know that I actually grew up here, partly, and that's why I just really love this lifestyle. So on the other side of the courtyard, we actually have another large communal area. And this is more a space where you can get some work done, because there is a really large, grand wooden table in the center, surrounded by a lot of chairs. And you just have these really high ceilings. And scientifically, you actually are more creative and have more creative ideas if the ceilings are really high. So this is just a space where a lot of creativity can happen. And as I've heard, there even are some art classes here or certain workshops being held. So it just really is a super creative space. And the focal point of the space actually is this incredible art wall. It's just this wall that has been covered with a collection of different artworks. And I just absolutely love it, because you can just really get lost in every single artwork. And you can see that even though all of them have different shapes, different sizes, the entire design works really well because we have this very even spacing between them. And so it just really seems like a work of art. And of course, the centerpiece, I think, is also from the same artist, Athena, as we will see above, because she has this very unique technique where she first paints an artwork and then stitches above it again, and it just creates this very tactile and textural depth. And as an interior designer, of course, I love this. Comment below if you like it as well. Now, in this courtyard, we actually have our own little spa hiding, as well as one more room. Also comment below which of these rooms was your favorite, and I will tell you mine. And over here, we actually have our own little courtyard, also a bedroom, and it is also absolutely gorgeous. So what I really love about this design is that every single room, even though we sometimes have similar color palettes, completely and entirely differs in the design. And this just really speaks to the designer couple who created the space, and I'm absolutely in love with it. So the entry into this bedroom is this large round arch that just also is very characteristic for the architecture here, and it is completely covered in glass. But if you want some privacy, you have two different types of curtains. that you can just use. And then you also have the privacy that you need. And within this room, we have a large bed in the center, and the walls as well as the ceiling have been covered with this beige plaster technique, and it just creates this very in-depth design. And we've already seen this plaster technique in different apartments we showed on this channel, but here, because it is also transported on top of the ceiling, it just really creates this very intimate, almost cave-like design where you just feel really comfortable and cozy, and you just want to snuggle up. Another favorite of this design is that we just have these very unique, organic, and whimsical shapes. So I'm absolutely in love with this mirror. And here you can also see that we again have this rattan technique used that just speaks and cites the local Balinese heritage. And I always love it whenever you use local materials. And of course, over here, we have a similar yet different situation where we have a sideboard that can also be used as a small writing and work area. Now, of course, we also have our own little private bathroom. It is located right over here, and it is also covered in this very rich and layered plaster technique. And I told you before that most of the art is local art by different Balinese and Indonesian artworks. And so above the toilet, this is a really cool situation. I really like it. We have a screen portrait of a man, and it's very iconic, and I absolutely love the placement. It is really cool. And you can just see how thoughtful and well executed this design is. I hope you enjoyed this video of the B Design house. Comment below if you liked it and what your favorite part was. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go and subscribe right now. And I hope to see you in the next video. You can get it by scanning this QR code or by clicking the link in the description.